This week I'm back in BA's Club Europe business class. I take breakfast in the Japan Airlines first class Sakura lounge, battle freezing fog at Frankfurt, and put BA's Club Europe back under the microscope to see if it's still delivering compared to when I last flew it in 2025. Good morning and a very warm welcome, or really not warm actually, it's about -2 here in Frankfurt and very, very cold indeed. Today heading to Terminal 2, just walking from my hotel now because we're flying back to London Heathrow's Terminal 5 with British Airways in Club Europe. Now, I've done a Club Europe video before and the experience was actually really, really nice. I flew back from Geneva last year in June 25 back to Heathrow. And as much as the product gets a bit of slamming, I actually enjoyed it. And yes, it's not an all singing, all dancing business class fully lie flat seat, but the service on the day was super, as was the pre-departure experience. So can't really complain. So I'm walking to Terminal 2 here at Frankfurt as we speak to board this flight back to London Heathrow in business class. Frankfurt Airport feels clean, modern and surprisingly calm. The space is bright and well laid out with plenty of natural light and clear signage that makes getting around the airport pretty easy. Everything feels efficient and well maintained, and for a major European hub, it's a genuinely pleasant terminal to move through. The check-in desks were about to open approximately 2 hours before the scheduled departure time, and if you're travelling in business like me, then there's a dedicated Club Europe business class check-in line. So all in the Terminal 2 if you're flying British Airways, and we're departing from gate D6 today, Delta 6. What makes me smile the most is the BA app is still incapable of telling you which gate you're departing from, but of course in Frankfurt and in Germany across the board, efficiency is key. So all the departure gates are listed on the board as you come in. So if your app doesn't show you where you're going to depart from, just check the board and your gate should be there. I did think that Frankfurt would have the European entry-exit system nailed on, but how wrong I was. I joined a 40-minute long queue of disgruntled passengers, and the queue was really, really slow. I think the EU entry-exit system is certainly not working as it should at the moment. It took about 35 to 40 minutes to get through that queue, but it is what it is. So off to security, and then we're going to go and check out if we've got a lounge. I'm pretty confident we have, with it being a one world kind of partnership. Pretty confident there's a lounge here. And it was nice to know that my confidence wasn't misplaced, as travelling on a business class one world ticket, the delights of the Japan Airlines first class Sakura lounge awaited me. Upon entry into the lounge, there's storage lockers for any luggage if needed, and high-speed Wi-Fi access too. There's also a display of Japan Airlines related photographs from the past. I really do like elements like this. So all inside the JAL Sakura Lounge, which, a little side note, is pre-security, not post-security. So clear customs, come past D1 to 4 gates, where the security are for the gates D1 to 4, and then you can just literally go straight into the lounge, and then wherever you're departing from, you can leave the lounge, just leave yourself a little bit of extra time to get through security prior to boarding. But the JAL Sakura Lounge, or the JAL First Class Lounges, are all pretty much very similar designs across the world, very clean, very minimalist. And I do like that. The seating is really comfortable, and yeah, I'm a big fan really. The last time I was in a JAL lounge was with my husband when we left Honolulu to fly to Osaka with JAL, and that was a really nice experience as well. Now, food offerings aren't always, there's not massive amounts of food, but what is on offer is usually of pretty reasonable quality. So had a little bit of a breakfast this morning, had some eggs, some German cheese, and some sausage. It was like a beef sausage, a bit like a hot dog, but nice. A pretzel roll, of course, when in Germany, and just a bottle of water and a cup of tea, Darjeeling second flush tea, if we're being precise. So I'm just going to sit in here, I'll take you on a little bit of a tour of the lounge, and then we'll get on that Club Europe flight back to London Heathrow with British Airways. On the drinks front, there were a variety of bottled drinks and free pour spirits too, teas on offer from German brand Ellis, and an automated coffee machine offering all the usual suspects. There's a variety of fruit juices from the brand Granini, as well as glass bottles of sodas from the Coca-Cola company. There's water, both still and sparkling, as well as 2 types of bottled beer. There's red wines on offer, as well as ice-chilled whites and rosé too. Fresh fruit was available to go, as well as hot breakfast items of these beef sausages, which were pretty tasty, this hot tomato and pepper relish, as well as really good scrambled eggs. They were actually pretty tasty. There's a variety of pre-made sandwiches available too, as well as meats and cheeses, alongside a fully stocked salad bar with dressings too. There was fresh fruit salad, Greek yogurt, and this really tasty cherry compote. There's also seed toppings too, and a well-stocked bread selection with Zentis jams. There's a grab-to-go snack selection ranging from sweet and savoury treats, and these adorable little Milka bars. Quite a few of these made their way into my hand luggage. Finally, today's patisserie offering was a plum crumble cake. How could I say no? It was really tasty, and I also had a bowl of the yoghurt with the compote, and both were absolutely great. Right, all out the lounge. A quick little shower before I left, only to sort my hair out. God knows what was going on this morning, but from that walk from the hotel to here, it seemed to blew up like I'd put 6 ton of hairspray in it, but all sorted now. So yeah, just got to go through security, get to the gate, and then we'll board that flight back to London Heathrow with British Airways. It's worth mentioning, if you have a business class ticket, you can use the priority security lane here at Frankfurt, and once I was through, I got to see the full extent of how bad the fog had got. It'll be interesting to see if this impacts our departure today. Boarding was done by groups, but then everyone was put onto the same bus anyway, which kind of makes priority boarding a bit superfluous, but I'm not one to grumble. And finally, we were aboard. 5A is my seat today for this journey back to London Heathrow. So, all aboard this Club Europe flight back to London Heathrow, and yeah, it's been an interesting experience through Frankfurt, to be fair. A little bit more chaotic than I normally find German airports. That EES, the entry and exit system that's been implemented by the European Union, is obviously taking its toll on a lot of countries. But you know what? We grin, we bear it, and we get through. So all aboard now in BA's Club Europe cabin. Just 6 rows in business class today. The divider is kind of flexible, so it can move depending on the load. So you can have a few or as many as rows as you can sell, essentially, and that's one of the BA's kind of USPs, really, is that they can just elongate or shorten the cabin at a moment's notice. And also, it used to be the bane of my life when, you know, that wasn't done correctly when I was cabin crew. But yeah, all good, ready to go. Comfortable, obviously the middle aisle blocked on all Club Europe seats. It's in a 1-1 formation. It's a row of 3, but that middle seat is blocked out by that cocktail table. So, pretty much the last passengers getting on board now, and we're going to push back and head back to London Heathrow's Terminal 5, and I'll take you on the journey with me and show you everything you get in Club Europe in 2026. It was the old-style seating, complete with embroidered headrests, overhead reading lights and personal air vents. The Club Europe seats recline and also feature a drop-down tray table. Legroom is standard but not uncomfortable, and there's also USB-A as well as AC power available at your seat. The seating area was a little dirty though, something I raised with BA after the flight, and it was also rare to see overhead bins not bulging at the seams with baggage, a common problem when flying Club Europe. So, because of the fog situation in Frankfurt, we are sat on the ground for another 20-25 minutes, but the first officer's just come on and given us a timely update and said we should still arrive in Heathrow on time. So the crew have come round and given us a choice of nuts, crisps or shortbread and a bottle of water just to kind of keep people smiling on the ground, which was quite a nice touch. So we're just sitting, enjoying a bottle of water and a couple of biscuits before we take off. After pushing back slightly behind schedule, then came one of the longest taxis I've ever experienced. It's no exaggeration to say we were taxiing for nearly 15 minutes. A lot of us were thinking, when is this going to end? It just carried on and on and on. I know there was a lot of traffic at Frankfurt this day and delays were starting to mount up, so I imagine it was just air traffic control trying to coordinate all the movements, but it did feel like we were taxiing for a very extended period of time. So all up in a very sunny climb. Amazing that it was so foggy. The fog was really low lying, but once we got through those clouds, we've got absolutely beautifully bright sun, which is what we like to see. So the crew have just done their announcement. The service is about to start. A choice of meal and drink from the bar in Club Europe as standard. Whilst if you were travelling in Euro Traveller, which is BA's economy, you'd get a snack, a complimentary snack, usually a biscuit or a pack of those pesky pretzels and a bottle of water too. So wherever you're sitting, you're going to get something. And if you did want something a bit more in Euro Traveller, you can purchase stuff from the High Life Cafe. But yeah, it's relaxing on board, and I know Club Europe gets slated sometimes compared to what you may get on a sort of domestic or regional hop in, say, Asia, but that's never going to come, I don't think anyway, to the UK. The exceptions that prove the rule being some of the Fifth Freedom flights you can take, or that Finnair flight that I took in the Air Lounge product. So sit back and I'll show you around. Wi-Fi is available in Club Europe, but it's not Starlink by any measure. BA offers free messaging Wi-Fi to all BA Club members regardless of cabin, but if you do want to buy a streaming pass, it's just $4.99 for the whole flight. So that's the lunch service all done and dusted, and a really nice lunch. It was a really tasty lunch, I can't say much fairer than that. Darren Co, still the caterers, bringing it out the bag here aboard Club Europe for BA, but a really tasty, delicious lunch. So the options on board were a prawn salad with a mustard and lemon sort of mayonnaise vinaigrette, fresh salad, gem lettuce, tomatoes, French beans, boiled egg and some black olives, or a beetroot and feta cheese or goat cheese salad. So I went for the prawns, and being on row 5 of 6, pretty lucky to get my choice of meal, to be fair. And it was really tasty. It was really, really delicious. A lovely salad, really fresh and light. That was served with a white roll, a white olive roll with butter, and dessert was this nice amalgamation, like think of a chocolate mousse, but with winter spice, lots of cinnamon in there, and nutmeg, and a bit of crumble on top and some berries. So all in all, a really tasty meal. Drink from the bar of your choice, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and I went for a Coke Zero on ice. But lots of people on board, taking advantage of the bar. I've heard gin and tonics, and the gentleman behind me has gone for a Baileys with coffee with Baileys, so I thoroughly approve. After a lovely lunch service, I snagged a cheeky 20-minute power nap before checking the toilets. Nothing major going on up here, but all clean and very well stocked with white company amenities. So that's pretty much it, just coming in over the North Sea and about to start our descent into Heathrow, so I best say my closing piece. You know what, Club Europe really is one of those products that for me is probably the most consistent part of British Airways. Often consistency's really good here, inconsistency's often down the back. But every time I've flown Club Europe, it's always been a very pleasant experience, and today is no exception. Food fantastic, service on board lovely and delightful, and just, a nice experience. One of the things I'll always say about Club Europe is if you can get a cheap Avios reward ticket for this and, pay the mid-level of taxes, it's probably worth it, to be fair, especially on even longer flights than this one. I'd be more than normally quite happy to sit down the back on a Frankfurt leg, but I thought I haven't done Club Europe for some time, so hence coming to sit in the front and showing you what you get in 2026. And it's still as good as it was when I last flew it all those many months ago last year in June, coming back from Geneva. So it's nice to see that, nearly 8 or 9 months apart, there's still a real level of consistency to Club Europe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Then came the announcement that we'd be entering an extended hold of up to 30 minutes, thanks to Heathrow being extremely busy. Personally, I always see that as a positive when you're flying in a premium business class cabin, and it gave me plenty of time to watch the constant stream of aircraft circling both above and below us. I've always found BA's Club Europe to be a solid and pretty consistent product. It does take a fair bit of criticism, sometimes unfairly I think, but when you step back it genuinely delivers what it sets out to do. If the cash fare stacks up, or you can snag a good value Avios reward seat, it remains a very sensible and reliable option for short-haul business class. And sometimes consistency and familiarity are exactly what you want when you're crossing Europe, rather than chasing something new. Now feels like the perfect moment to ask, if you're enjoying the adventures so far, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come along for the ride with a growing community of fellow travellers.